So, good afternoon. Today's date is January 26th, 2024. My name is Kelly Zakovic. I'm representing the City of Savannah Municipal Archives, and I'm interviewing Reverend Anthony Pope for the Savannah... Page. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Reverend Anthony Page for the Savannah Community Memory Project. So we're conducting this interview at the Liberty City Community Center. So thank you for joining us today, and I'm so sorry. Can you tell us your full name, please?
My name is Anthony E. Page Sr. When I was living out here, all my friends called me Papa Page.
Papa Page? Why did they call you Papa Page?
That was my nickname from birth.
Okay. And what neighborhood would you like to share with us about today, mostly?
Well, we all my roots started as a child. You know, we moved out here when I was young. And when I say young, I was young. I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. And I remember growing up real in a very nice community, and we didn't have a lot of issues to me. Cause one thing, we didn't know about any issues because when our parents had meetings, we wasn't allowed to sit in the living room while whoever parent hosts a meeting. You get to sit in the room and listen and sit down and sit beside them and look them in their mouth. They didn't play that back then. And we seen a lot progress out here. And when we first moved out here, it was dirt streets from Millsby Lane down to Staley Avenue, around ACL Boulevard, back to Staley Avenue. When we moved out here, the overpass to cross I-16 wasn't even open yet. There wasn't an overpass across I-16 because Staley Avenue, not Staley Avenue, ACL Boulevard from Millsby Lane all the way around, went all the way over where they called Girard Avenue back then. And then when they built I-16, we called it 560, it was called Lions Parkway back then. And when they built Lions Parkway, they cut off ACL Boulevard from going to Girard Avenue. So that's why the purpose was for them to build an overpass so those who live over there can get in and out from their homes. And when we first came out here, like we said, the streets were dirt street. First street, actually when we first moved out here, before a lot of most streets got extended close to Staley Avenue, there was only from I think 54th Street. We didn't have a 53rd Street because 53rd Street started in town and they did not extend 53rd Street out to Liberty City. Liberty City First Street was 54th Street down to 66th Street. And at that time, they were numerous streets. And as long as they didn't come out here and grade the streets, everything was fine. It seemed like every time they grade the streets, then it'll rain. And then our parents would be upset when it rained because sometimes when they grade the street, some of them have a little puddle hole that the grade didn't come and run over it real good. So when it rain, that water will settle right there. And when as they come home from work, either they leave home to go to work and they hit some of them puddles, they mess their clean car that they had washed the day before. And we didn't have no kind of recreation out here. So as we got older, we had to build our own basketball goals with not with a regular basketball goal, but we had to tell if there was an old bicycle rim around somebody's house, we would pop the spokes out and make a basketball goal and backboard with that. And then when it rained, we would, as long nobody didn't throw no rocks or no glass inside the ditch was our swimming pools. And even though our parents, probably would get upset because we would run out there and jump in the ditches, so we had some kind of recreation. Cause we had recreation, a lot of guys probably had learned a lot about a lot of sports. We had to learn a lot of sports on our own. We didn't have, like I said, we didn't have no recreation out here. So people could take up time and try to coach us and teach us how to be good basketball players, football players, baseball players, whatever kind of sport you would like. We didn't have it. We had to learn on our own. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't start really getting around until they started the buses. Bus coming out here, one bus, not no two bus like they got now, but one bus come in, another one going out. We had one bus, and that bus was yellow and green, the city bus. And back then we used tokens, which a lot of people I don't think know too much about tokens. They were small and they look almost about the same size as a dime. And we had to, and before we got school buses out here, we had to ride that city bus. And that city bus, the last one, if the parents want to go to town, that last one left from out here, I think was on 9 o'clock. And I let you off right there at Victory Drive in West Broad then. And then it don't start running back again till I think my mama said about 1 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yeah, almost about time for the kids to get out of school. Cause if we didn't have our parents to drop us off to school, then those who could afford it got bus passes, so we could catch that bus. Or either we had to depend on Ben and Jerry, our legs. Ben and Jerry, our legs, and we got along out here, I believe, real good. I can still remember a lot of people who used to live out here, because out here, a lot of good people came from out here, from 54th Street, both blocks, the 8 when you come down on Liberty Parkway. The left hand was the 1800 block, the right side was the 1900 block, And after they extended, I believe, quite a few streets to run from Liberty Parkway to ACL Boulevard. I think that's Tuskegee, and I think it's Lloyd, and those folks on that side, I think their address is the 2000 block. But before that became the 200 block, there used to be a big ditch that would run a long way, and that ditch separated the folks that live on the other side of that street. They had to go all the way around to ACL Boulevard to get to their house. But now I see where they don't have to do that no more, where they could just come right up Liberty Parkway, make that right on, I think it's Tuskegee, and I think it's on Lloyd Street, where it goes all the way to ACL Boulevard. And like I said, we had a lot of great people come from out of Liberty City. When we first moved out here, the historical pastor, South Hall Brown Sr., him and his family lived out here, and him, Mr. Matthew Hunter, that's a good friend of mine, named Ralph Hunter. That's his father, and his children excel real well. And Uncle Ralph, he lives in Los Angeles, I think, California still now. And a couple of his sisters live in New Jersey, I think. One of them used to be in the gospel music workshop along with us, Francina. And I saw Pastor Brown's son. You just got through interviewing him, and after he became a pastor, that's when they moved out. But with him, my mother, Mr. Hunter, all of them made sure that we was treated right in the community, and because they used to have fundraising things, and all the mothers would help get along together and help with the fundraising. Some would make pies, some would make my mother always made candy apples along with Miss I believe I'm trying to remember what Miss Bryant name was. She stayed on Cimarron Street. Clara Bryant. All of them worked together in the community. Plus they worked together at the PTA, because we moved out here. It's the elementary school down here on the other side of the bakery. And you could always tell when you was about to get to Liberty City, because that bread used to make you hungry. Passing by that bakery every day, you could smell it. And they worked real well together, because the rent was not a middle school when we were younger. It went from first grade to the sixth grade, and when we were going there, our lady named Miss Warwick, she was the principal, and Miss Warwick was about 5 foot, but she stood like she was 5'10" or 6 foot, because she didn't play. When she called you to the office, she wanted you to be to that office. And she worked real well with the parents out here in Liberty City. And she knew just about all the kids' names. And they had a system where they made sure they knew our names back then. And then that's when we got we we felt like we was like the Jeffersons moving on up. But we got the paved streets, we got the school buses, we got the bus to run longer, and I just thank God that I'm still here to see some of the things that some of our parents hadn't seen, and because I remember on 54th Street, Nurse Jones and another lady named is Jones, and Thomas Jones, her husband. They loved the children real well. Then on the other side was Miss Moss, and then Miss Stokes, and then another street I could remember Miss Golfin, and I remember Miss Lucia Johnson, and I remember Miss Palmer, and quite a few other people further down, Deacon Boutry and his family, Mr. Walden, all these people who I'm calling that cared, and we was a caring neighborhood. We were children. We did children things, but we didn't do children things like they do now. If we did fight, we'd duke it out. And once we done duked it out, we done forgot what we was duking it out for, and go, like I say, we didn't have no recreation. So we had to do our own thing with football, playing sometimes we forgot that we ain't had no football equipment on. Sometimes one day we might want to play tackle, one day we might want to play touch, and then we played basketball, like I said about the rims and everything, and once our parents was able to give us the recreation we needed, that's when we started getting real basketball goals. That's when we started getting good basketball. That's when we started getting good football. Even those who wanted, we had a gentleman on Upson Street named Mr. Sammy Jonah. He was like a father to us, who didn't mind letting us come on his street, and he'll provide the bait, the softballs, and the bat that we come around here. He'll try to teach us how to be baseball players, and that's a lot of that was a big highlight experience. And then we had on Vassar Street, we had a gentleman named Mr. Thomas Daniel Sr. He didn't mind opening up his yard for us to have a recreation down there to his house on Vassar Street. And even though we got on one of his daughter's nerve, Mayola, I remember if we got too loud, Mayola would tell us, "I'm gonna tell Daddy, y'all making a lot of noise out there." And but it didn't bother him. As long as we had something positive to do, they supported us. They didn't believe in that negative stuff. They didn't believe in violence out here. Like you could leave your house, your windows up, leave, go, come back, everything's still intact. Flower pots up on the porch, hanging up, and now, I don't know, because I don't live out here no more. But I pray that everybody is still on one accord out here. I pray that everybody still love each other, because my motto for everywhere I live is, we are one, regardless of whether who live in the community or not. It's not the color of the skin, who my neighbor is. My neighbor is who the Bible tells me my neighbor is. Love you one another as I have loved you. So that's I still love Liberty City, but I just pray that everyone who come in, move in Liberty City, will enjoy the life that they have out here, because to me it's a very pleasant life. Pleasant life, because like I said, I moved out in 76 because I got married, and then I had to always come and check on my parents, my mother and my father, until my father, he died in 1994, and then my mother, she passed in 1999. But we had some good neighbors. That we had a neighbor live by us. I tell you, when I got older, I said, Lord, there was two ladies that once I got grown, I want to get from around. It's not because I didn't love them, but because they were hard on me. One was my mama, the other was Miss Daisy Bell. Mama tell Miss Daisy Bell, watch that house, because none of them children ain't supposed to come out that house until me and John get home. And if somebody came to that house, I don't know how she figured that front door had got open, but soon as my mama and my daddy pull up coming home from work, she'll call across that fence. There, Papa opened up that door for somebody. And I couldn't, back then, you had to respect the older people. You could use two words. We couldn't call a grown person a liar. And we couldn't use the word but. Because if you use the word but, my mama think you was cussing. And she had some good friends. Like on my street, I remember Miss Milton, Mr. Milton. I remember Mr. Otis and Miss Daisybell. I remember Mr. McNeil and Miss McNeil. Mr. Ben Harris, Laura Mathis. Before they moved out, down the street was Mr. Brooks and his wife in the 1800 block. Mr. Maxwell and his wife, Miss Burnell, and then Miss Mike and Esther Mike, and her husband's name was Thomas Mike. And then come on down some more, we had some new neighbors that had moved out here, the Washingtons. And then before they moved close to ACL Boulevard, the Cuspers stayed on our street in the 1800 block, and then the Gastons on the 1800 block, and then further down around the corner, Davis Smith, like I say, Mr. Matthew, Mr. Matthew Hunter, Miss Mary Cleveland, my good homeboy Ada Cleveland, Raymond Hill, the Gassons used to live on Upson Street. And then we had the honor of being reared up with I don't know if anybody, how many people remember him. He's retired now, but he's from Savannah. He graduated from Savannah State and was, I believe, if I can remember, he's one of the first one to graduate when they restarted the ROTC program. I can't call the rank, but I know he was a high officer in the Marines, Walter Gaston. He's off of what the street we used to call 66th Street. He's off of Vassar Street, and then Pastor Leonard Smalls. He's from out here. And his mother, God bless, God is still blessing her, is Mamie. She's still moving. So we got a lot. We've had lawyers, doctors, people to excel in their life, and that we can say that as anybody who boasts and brag about their community, can any good thing come out of Liberty City, and can any good thing come out of South Over? Can any good thing come out of Richfield? Can any good thing come out of this whole neighborhood that we have, that we could just put our hands together and just clap our hands and just tell the Lord, thank you for being so good to those from the Liberty City? Because some say we was poor, but we got along so good. We didn't know we were poor. Because back then, I'm gonna close, I could go home. Back then, people didn't mind sharing. Didn't mind sharing. If clothes that my brother and myself couldn't wear, then my mother would find out if it's anybody in Liberty City that has boys that's younger than us. She would pass those clothes on to those people. And the same way with my sisters. If she knew somebody that had girls who have outgrown, my sister never outgrew their clothes. Because back then, they used woolite. And woolite kept your clothes looking like new. Woolite kept your clothes from failing. So people didn't mind back then, but I don't know how it is now. Cause look like we have children tell parents what to do, what they're not gonna wear, what they're not gonna eat. But I thank God that we had parents that made sure we had the right nutrition and everything. And I really think my mama glad that she didn't have a microwave back then, because I don't believe she would have used it as much as it's being used now. That's I would prepared my 15 in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. May I ask you a few follow-up questions?
Go ahead.
So can I ask your parents' names?
Mr. and Mrs. John Page. My father's name was John C. and my mother was Esther J.
Thank you. So you mentioned that the wives were doing fundraisers. What were they raising money for?
School projects. School projects for the school, and I think some was for the association out here in Liberty City.
So what year did you move out here?
Either 54, should have been 54 because I was going on 4 years old. 58, because I was born in 54. So it had to be 58. Yeah, a little two-bedroom house at the time. And then once we got older, my mother decided that they need to get rid of some furniture in the house and put my sisters in their own room, and my brother and myself in our own room. Because we first moved out there, all 4 of us was in the same room, and my mom and dad had their own room. My mama was gonna play that jive after we moved out there to the city. that I continue to sleep with her and my dad.
Did they build their house?
My dad did. Yeah. Yeah, he did it himself.
Um, uh, so what did your family do for work?
My mother did, well, she first, after I started school, because my mother waited until I started school to start really working. And for a couple of years, she did domestic work. And then later on, when they built Georgia Regional, her and a couple of her friends, they applied for jobs out there, and they were blessed to get jobs at Georgia Regional. And my father, he worked at first it was Savannah Machinery Foundry, and then later on it changed to Ductile and Corporation. That I don't want no memories of that place, because I ended up working there for 9 months, and I got tired of it. And when they gave me a check, I didn't know I would get the check for the annual shutdown. And for that whole week I was off, I filled up my car, I gave my mama some money, and I rode all over Savannah trying to find me another job. And when I did find another job, God blessed me to be on that job for 46 years and 8 months.
Where was that?
At first it was John Manville. It was John Manville, and then in 1994, that's when the changeover came. It shifted from John Manville to Orange County, where it stands still now. In God's city.
Where did people go to church out here?
Well, we didn't have transportation for my daddy trying to drive. Trying to work. We went to a little church, temporary, to a little church on ACL Boulevard called Macedonia Baptist Church. And we had a lady named Miss Haywood, who didn't mind. They had a station wagon, and her and my mother met, and she told them about, how my dad had to work. My mama couldn't drive, and she wanted us to be in Sunday school on Sunday. So Miss Haywood, she didn't mind, along with her husband and her son John. Her husband name was John, and her son name was John. But I think John still lives in the house out here, that they're off of Bassett Street. And I had a lot of good friends off of Bassett Street, and a lot of good mothers on Bassett Street. Mary Roundtree, Miss Jones, Mama Jackson, Miss Peggy Pearl, a lot of them who watch out for the kids out here. Wouldn't let nobody bully nobody. Yeah. So that's where we started at church, and then there was a few churches over here in South Dover, Little Brian Baptist Church, and then on ACL Moriah Baptist Church, and then Mount Tabor Baptist Church. We had churches for people to attend, and then way down on the bottom of Stuyvesant Street, Reverend Powell, he had a church called Richfield Baptist Church down on the bottom. So we had a lot of churches for us to be able to attend, those who wanted to attend church. Yeah.
you mentioned, and we've heard from other people, the different neighborhoods that are now Liberty City, South Over Junction, Ridgefield. Can you tell us the rough boundaries of those?
Well, I think, if I remember, from Campbell Street on back to the railroad, South Over, and Richfield, I think was the deep part, close like down by the railroad track. I can't remember the name of that street at all. But the main street for them to enter in and out is Rockdale right here. Rockdale Street right here. Oh, plus the big church over here. Owner's Temple. And this Berean church was built later. I can't remember if it was in the 60s. I think it was built over there during the 60s. I think. And the other churches came later. A lot of the other churches came later. I'm not, like I said, since I moved out from the city, I can't remember. I don't know the names of them, but I know who the pastors are. You know. Some people say you got mine like a shop. I don't remember them people. I don't remember them people. Yeah, I do. I thank God.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we've covered most of my questions.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
And Donna's mother and father, Myers, she's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her married name. I don't remember her married name, but I think she's the one who got the people for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Her parents played a big part out here in Liberty City too.
What do they do?
I know Mr. Myers was a principal. And I think her mother was a school teacher. Yeah, they're part of Liberty City too. Yeah, matter of fact, the house that they live in, Donna still lives in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened to your family's house?
Oh, we sold it. Nobody wasn't living in it. And me and my younger sister, we decided since anyone wasn't living in it and somebody was interested in purchasing, we just went ahead. That was one of the requests that really my mother had made, because she didn't want nobody fighting over property or anything. That was one thing she had wanted, to sell the house. You know, everybody be at peace. Nobody could have any order against each other, 'cause stuff like that is what caused a lot of families to break up, and a lot of order, you know, especially if it's a split family with step-children and stuff. The real children don't want the step-children to have nothing, 'cause that wasn't your mama, that wasn't your dad. Your daddy married my mama and all that. We were blessed to have both parents.
Mm-hmm.
We were raised by both parents. Yeah.
Okay. Any last words?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. Well, thank you so
I'm fine.
much.
You're welcome.